I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about how grief can cause breakups. Well, this is a really important topic because you're going to face grief in your life. Your partners are going to have to grieve in their life. They're going to face death. We all do. We all lose people that we care about.
We all lose parents.
Yep, we all lose parents. And it can be devastating. It can be overwhelming, and it can cause a breakup.
Oftentimes it does.
Yeah.
And you may remember that I've presented several times on how it breaks my heart to see that. Because at the time in their lives when people need support the most, they somehow say, I have to deal with this alone, and I need to break up because I can't do this and grieve. Okay? So what I'm going to share with you now is what I would like to call how it should go, how it should happen.
Okay.
All right?
You got an interesting article for us. I know you said you liked this one.
I was charmed by this article, yeah. Can a relationship ever survive grief?
Okay.
All right? Okay. These are fictitious names, I'm sure. Zahra, 29, was at work when she got the call that her dad had passed away after a massive heart attack. 3 weeks before, her boyfriend had proposed. Rather than the happy, excited anticipation expected of newly engaged couples, Zahra and her fiancé were instead thrown into a state of flux.
Yeah.
It was completely out of the blue, a complete shock. My partner was great, but initially he just didn't know what to do, Zahra says. I felt a bit guilty as well. It should have been a happy time, and I just felt like I would never be happy again.
Yeah.
All I could think about was my dad, and I didn't have any space in my brain for anything else.
Yeah.
My fiancé was really great when there was stuff to do. He did a lot of administrative stuff, and he called a lot of people, but he really struggled when there was no real job. And I didn't really know what I needed either, so I couldn't tell him. For Zahra and her partner, it felt like a bit of a waiting game. It took time for the emotion and sadness to feel less raw, but once it did, they began to feel more like themselves again. It was after it had been like a year. Once I had made it through the major landmarks, which would have been my dad's birthday, my parents' anniversary, Christmas, things felt a little bit easier. It kind of felt like this was the new normal. That first year after a death is brutal.
I was just thinking it.
Absolutely brutal, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's hard.
You've been through it more recently than I, yes. And it wasn't only emotional support that Zahra needed from her partner while she was grieving. Their physical relationship changed too. I just didn't feel like having sex, she said. It wasn't that I didn't love him. It was just that I was struggling to feel anything at all. And sex was just completely unappealing. He was so understanding, she said, and so patient. We had just gotten engaged, and we should have been having all the sex in the world, but I just couldn't, which is something I didn't even expect as a side effect of grief.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was no pressure, no asking me when I would be ready. He let me feel exactly what I needed to feel. Like I say, this is how it should work.
Yeah.
All right? He didn't say, when are you going to be over this? Zahra and her partner got married in September, and they're closer now than ever. Zahra feels that if they can make it through this, then they can make it through anything. She says it was actually a real solid test of our partnership. It was all so intense and horrible. So the fact that we can make it through something like this bodes really well for the future. The wedding itself was pretty tough and emotional at times, yeah. My mom gave me away and gave a speech, and it was hard to feel that my dad should have been there. My husband was brilliant. He mentioned my dad in his speech, which really meant a lot to me. Some of the specific phrases he said to me when I was grieving that were really helpful. Rather than telling me things would get better, he would say, "You will be okay."
Ah, there we have it again.
There we have it again. That's a magic phrase. You'll be okay.
Apparently, Margaret, I was right on the mark with that one.
Yes, you were. Just your usual brilliance. He didn't say when, but he said it would happen. It was little things like this that just allowed me to feel what I was feeling. I never had to force myself to look on the bright side, which is always a danger, or be more positive. He let me feel my grief in the exact way that I needed to feel it.
Mm.
Now, not all that complicated, but magnificent. He did a great job.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would be very difficult to watch your partner go through something like that.
It?
And
Yes,
then all the changes.
And you would try to do everything you could to help, but you don't know. And,
you wouldn't. Yeah, you'd be so confused and frustrated
and even angry that you were robbed of that joyful period.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did a magnificent job. And I think he's got at least 30 years of credit here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But this is how it should work rather than breaking up. All right?
Yep. All right. So that was some really good stuff and something to think about, because at some point, if you're with a partner, if you get back with your ex, you're going to have to know how to deal with grief, because they're going to lose people.
Yes, it's going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's very difficult.
But you do the magic thing. You remind yourself and everyone else that you'll be okay.
Yep.
Or you tune into Craig to hear him say it better.
You're okay. You're okay. And of course, if you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret, of course, is available for Skype coaching.
If you feel that I can be helpful to you, please sign up.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.